Hi, everybody. Welcome back to White Mountain Rescue session. I don't know. It's the second rescue. I'll look that up later. We're still waiting on Mark. Hopefully, he can jump in at some point, and just like the Vanished emerged out of nowhere. But for now, we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to review if anyone has any conditions. So Sebastian, let's look. I don't think you're still shaken from the.
Yeah.
I think that was from the
meeting with my dad.
Yeah. Oh right. It was from your dad being really creepy. I thought it was from the devils that were still following you, but no, it's literally just because you had a weird teleconference. John. Oh, Session the Second Rescue. Yes, exactly. Zelda does not have any conditions, and Richard also doesn't have any conditions. Jacqueline doesn't have any conditions currently, but when she emerges back into the real world, she will get one about being confused. So, any questions about something that happened the last time before we get started, or is everyone generally good to go? Okay.
I think about good to start.
I remember public embarrassment and streamer.
Oh, right.
I remember pull-ups.
Yeah, exactly. Richard was doing some pull-ups, and
yes.
His ex went on a date with a reporter that he despises.
I also despise this reporter, so.
Yeah. And then.
And then.
Zelda, you went to the Wilderness Foundation and saw that there was some kind of creepy place, no entry for civilians area. And you're like, what's that about? But you got shuffled off. You went to the post office and communicated with your pen pal, who we renamed, I think
it was River.
To River, yeah. So River sent you a creepy picture of a deer with a bunch of snakes coming out of it. So the weirdness is spreading. But in the meantime, you guys still have a job to do, so David Embargo doesn't get mad about it. So the rescue that we're going to do is called the Lost Camper. The White Mountain National Park has been notified of a camper that is not checked in with his family in a couple of days. Oh, sorry. One thing, because I always forget. If you want to change your end of session questions, just make sure to review them, and you can change them now. So I'll give everyone a second to do that. Because otherwise I'll ask at the end, and everyone will forget. So just remember that the first two are always checked, resolving a rescue and experiencing an echo in time, and then you can choose two other ones. All right, so going back. Very professional stream, you guys. I'm glad I'm not paying money.
Yeah.
All right. The
I think we get paid money.
Right, exactly. The White Mountain National Park has been notified of a camper that is not checked in with his family in a couple of days, and they're worried he got lost or is hurt. His name is Paul Foster, and he's 31 years old and works as a digital media consultant in upstate New York. His family reports he is in great health and has been camping alone or with friends in the White Mountains for the last 10 years. He parked in the Barnesfield campground parking lot near Gorham, New Hampshire, but he had a dispersed camping permit, which means he could camp outside of a designated campground. However, there are several families camping in RVs and tents near where he parked, as well as a campground manager who issued him a parking pass. Let's paint the scene a little bit. The circular campground has a large information board at the entrance, a small staff cabin, water and electricity hookups, large picnic pavilion, and about 10 or so campers in RVs or tents set up in the campground. What about the campground seems thankfully completely normal?
I think maybe there's just like a group of kids who are like chasing each other with like those like water guns, just like running around giggling, kind of oblivious to the tension that's here, but they're kids being kids.
Awesome.
I think he
There's definitely-
sees someone. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, there's definitely someone here grilling.
Yeah.
Mm.
Charcoal grill
Cool.
too, like like big steak or something on the grill.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody that's illegally trying to feed the deer apples, and I'm like, hey, you can't do that. You cannot feed the deer apples. It's gonna be an issue. You're gonna get too close to people. They're gonna, like, the males are gonna get too close to people when they have antlers. You can't do it. You're not allowed.
There's always got to
Deers
be
also
some
carry
guy,
a lot of
yeah.
diseases.
Yeah. So at first they're
They
like,
carry
"You're
so
not,
many."
you're not even a park ranger. Don't tell me what to do." And then the actual park ranger comes over. It's like, "All right, fine." So this could turn into just a safety and welfare check. Like, Paul's cell phone just was out of energy, so no law enforcement members are on site. You do find Paul's vehicle, a fairly new black Tacoma pickup truck, as well as a hiking trail. The hiking trail he took to set up his camp. His family has said that he likes to camp about 3 or 4 miles off the beaten path. So Zelda, Paul Foster came here 4 days ago and then lost contact with his family 2 days ago. So there's not going to be a lot of evidence of where he set his camp up on the trail. However, from what you know about the area, a few miles around the campground, what is a likely place he set up camp? I did put some pictures of like the map in art and inspiration if you want to look over that, or you can just make something up. That's fine too.
Oh no, I do like this. Okay, that's cool. Right. So there's a river that runs through the wilderness, and there's of course there's flood banks, flash floods, but there's a sort of outcropping where it's more elevated compared to other parts, and it's not a far hike. It's kind of off the trail, and it's close enough to the water where you can probably go there, get some fresh water to boil if you want to go the 9 yards. But in case of a flash flood, you're pretty elevated, and it's an area where you would be the safest.
Okay, so you may have to lead some people where you think it's gonna be off the trail and stuff. So our rescue question, it's a complexity 8 question. Is Paul Foster still alive? Answering this question gives the first responders the opportunity to locate and then escort Paul Foster back to his vehicle or recover his body for his family. There is one crown that's associated with this rescue. It's the crown of loneliness. 1 is the loneliest number. Sorry. Each first responder narrates a flashback to when they truly felt alone and whether or not this was a positive or negative experience. So, like I said, there's some people at the campground. There's the campground manager, the park ranger who's assigned to that. There's some campers. There's Paul Foster's truck. What are you guys doing? Or someone could just go straight up the trail.
I think when I ask, is there like, I want to ask around to see if, do we have a picture of who we're looking for already?
I think that's reasonable, because the family sent you guys out here. So, there's probably a picture of Paul that you guys have. It's a little old probably, well, he's a social media consultant actually. So no, he's got a brand new picture all over the place. So
It's on his portfolio website. It's
Yeah.
like pretty recent.
yeah. So there's a smiling one of him, on Barnet Trail or something. So
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So if there's anyone, if I'm seeing anyone on the trail, I think I'm going to be asking them, have they seen this person, or like if this is like, is this person? Do you know this person? Do you know anything about what happened prior to him disappearing? Like, was
do
he
you think
drunk?
you would be asking Doris, the campground manager, the people at the RVs, or are you walking up the trail to talk to people who are on the trail?
I guess I would start at the RVs
Okay.
first.
All right, cool. So that's what Richards is going to be doing. What about everybody else?
Do you want me to go first?
You can go first, because I'm going to tag along with one of you.
I'm going to go check out the car, I think.
Okay. Check out Paul's truck.
Okay. I was actually paying on the truck, which is great.
You two can double team. That's fine as well.
You're with the most annoying man on the planet again.
How convenient.
Yeah. So I guess
Enjoy your freedom.
let's start with Richard. Let me see if the location has.
Zelda immediately. Richard, hey, do you want to trade during and like in text?
Like I just look and act like I don't see it.
It's left on red. Yeah.
I don't think she'd actually text something, but I think there is a look of like reflogging and that she's going to go do her job.
Yeah. So yeah, Richard is looking down at the phone, and the guy he's talking to, Carl Hillard, is looking over at him. He's like this guy in his 60s. He's retired. He's got gray hair and a mustache. He's wearing a T-shirt with a grizzly bear catching a fish on it, some cargo shorts, and black socks with sandals. Right.
Well, of
So
course.
yeah, he's here with his
My
wife.
wife watches sandals.
Yeah. He's here with his wife and grandkids camping in his RV. And he's like, I'm sorry, do you need to get that? Is that important?
Sir, I was wondering if you've seen this person, and I like showed a picture. I assume it's on my phone.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, you know, I don't know. We've been here about a week, heading out tomorrow, so the kids want to get in one more swim in the pond before we go. Yeah, there have been people in and out. You know, he looks like a... I don't know, let me... my eyes aren't so good. Let me get my glasses. And he pulls them out of his bear T-shirt. No, like he's probably got like a...
I try to zoom it a little bit
Yeah.
for the boomer, so
Okay.
you can see it better.
So why don't you go ahead and make an information roll with presence.
All right. Let's see. What is my presence? 0. Excellent.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you. We just got started, so I did the paint the scene stuff.
Okay, cool.
I will post it in chat so you can review, stuff for the rescue and stuff.
I think I had the wrong time on my calendar.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me cut this. Okay. So we are looking for a missing person, which may just be a wellness check, because he wandered off the trail. But obviously the Forestry Service takes every missing person seriously, so... John, did you roll? Do you want to add any personal items?
I rolled a 10.
10, okay.
Yes.
It's like, wow, that's a handsome-looking young man. I wish my grandkids, they're always on the social medias. Hopefully that'll get them a job when they're older. Be a young Mark Zuckerberg or whatever. He just rambles a little bit. He's like,
Yeah, well, I don't have to worry about dealing with too much technology. Being a member of the Forestry Service.
Yeah.
So having that as my profession, I only really get to be online in my downtime. So it's a nice balance to be out here in the wilderness.
Oh yeah, sure. It's a got to be pretty rewarding job. A bit scary though. I didn't. Now that I'm thinking back, I haven't seen him, but we were up headed towards Peabody River, and I heard a sound that I thought was a bobcat screaming, right? So I took out my phone to try to take a picture of it, but there was no bobcat. There were all these stairs everywhere. I don't understand that. Maybe it's like an art thing. But now that I think about it, maybe it was a person screaming, not a bobcat. I don't know what a bobcat sounds like. Me and my wife, Amy, were arguing back and forth about it. I was going to look it up.
Look around for any open bottles.
Sure, there's probably some discarded bottles because people are jerks and litter.
But are there any that have had alcohol in it and that are near this gentleman?
Let me think. Probably like there's like a beer or two. You know, he's on vacation.
Did he mention the
okay.
stairs?
Yeah.
Okay. So
In the-
stairs.
Yeah, you know, I don't I asked Doris about it, and she said, you know, not to worry about it. You know, it's just a thing that's around here. I don't get it myself, but I don't get modern art.
Well, I appreciate your time. If you need anything, Doris will be around. I'll probably be around asking a few questions if you remember anything. Just you can find me. I am Ranger Richard. I'll be around.
It's like, oh, sure. And he turns over to, you know, yell towards his wife. He's like, hey, if you hear anything or saw anything, let this nice young man know, okay? He works very, very hard. You know, I'll give you a good review. You know, a 5-star.
I appreciate it.
You know, but anyways, that's your clue. That Carl heard something that he thought was a bobcat, but it might have been a person screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Up the trail
yeah.
towards Peabody River.
Mm-hmm.
So let me update that. Trail towards. Yeah. Meanwhile, you know, Zelda and your friend Sebastian, you are headed over towards Paul's truck, which is parked, you know, at the near the. It's parked in the parking lot of the Barnesfield campground where you are, but it's nearby to a wooden sign that shows the way to Bennett's Ridge Trail. You don't think, Zelda, you think this would be pretty easy to open with a standard issue law enforcement Slim Jim. Let's paint the truck a little bit. Inside the truck, there were White Mountain forest maps and empty water bottles. What can be found in the truck that lets you know that Paul is health conscious? You know, he's a bit of a health nut.
I feel like there's like the health magazines like kind of everywhere. Like on the passenger seat side, there's like a small little stack of them.
I have something that might want us to wish he was dead. So you know, like those wellness influencers, like the Manosphere, Red Pill, like those types of influencers. He has like a merch of that person like somewhere in here. And I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, like some supplements from
Trying
Alex
to
Jones
rescue
or
this
something.
person. Why are you trying to undermine it?
Hey, one of the answers could be that he's dead. So you know.
He's dead now.
I mean, taking them supplements, yeah. It's more liver.
Okay.
So fucking evil. I'm sorry.
Anything
I
else
think
in
there
the
was
truck?
discarded protein shake bottles on the floor.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm assuming Zelda kind of like pops open like the Slim Joe image and kind of like pops open like the door and just like I guess just kind of like takes a look around, see what's in there, sees like maybe like check like the I don't know if a car was the thing like the little things like the holders on top and to see like maybe there's a map that has just happened to like circled where they're about to be.
Yeah, if it was just Sebastian, I would probably make him make a risky move to open the truck. But no, this is your jam. You know, you do this all day. But if you can make an information move with reason to see if you can figure out, you know, anything useful here.
Yeah, 1 second. Is Moira? How? I'm seeing if I can potentially.
Like,
My reason is 0. Like, I'm wondering if I could somehow argue composure because I'm looking through like. No, I don't know. I was trying to make some sort of joke about that, but I can't make a proper argument. How do you roll dice here again?
You can just do 2d6 plus whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
2d6. And
Oh, I'll
8.
take that. That's an 8.
Yeah, so you don't really see anything that's particularly like, oh, here he is exactly, because that would be really useful. As soon as you open the truck, it just reeks of a smell that is, at first you assume it's like Axe body spray or something, but it's like some kind of sandalwood smelling deodorant, right? And you're like, okay, this guy obviously was like just lathering it on, like spritzing it all over his body and stuff. So probably that would be an unnatural smell in the wilderness, right? If you smell that somewhere, it might key you in on where he's been.
Wonderful. I think she kind of like coughs and just like kind of like waves a hand over her face and just like nose scrunched up and just like, wow, that's great. That's that could be useful, I guess.
And I think the complication is you're going to take a condition related to this overwhelming smell that you just, I don't know what you want to call that. Blocked up, maybe, or
Allergies.
Yeah, like allergies.
Chemical sensitivity.
Middle school memories, middle school flashbacks.
If you want
that's
to do
perfect,
that.
Ashley.
Yeah. Sebastian, if you also want to make some sort of roll here, you could, or if you want to have been using some of your rich person resources in the meantime.
I forgot. Let me double check like rich people resources that I own. Oh,
Yeah.
Kitty. Let me look for that. State of the art everything right now. Okay. Wow. Nah, I have nothing that I can use right now. I don't know if I can swap it right now either.
Yeah, fair enough. No, we didn't mention that at the beginning of the episode, so if you want to swap something, that's fine.
Cool, okay. I'm looking through.
So, alternatively, as Zelda is busy poking through this truck, you look over at the direction of Barnet Trail, where the sign points to, and you see that there's some sort of, like, it appears to be a red fox, and it's looking at something, like, very intently on the ground. It's kind of, like, poking at it and prodding at it. It looks like some kind of, you can't really tell from here. But it's strange animal behavior.
Okay. I'm essentially going to, like... I'm going to try and, like... If there is a bottle of that Axe body spray bullshit in here, I'm going to, like, try and spray it somewhat in the general direction of the fox to try and get it the fuck away from the thing.
Okay. Let's call that a risky move. What are you worried about happening if you fall short?
I think the fox is going to take the fucking thing.
Okay, fair enough. And, like, run off with it?
Yeah.
Right.
Rabies. God, I wish. Okay, 2d6, risky move. Anything that I would add to it?
Probably composure, maybe? Like, if you're trying to do this quickly and not, spook the fox.
I think I would argue reason, because it's just like, I know that foxes are sensitive to smell because they're like dogs.
Yeah, that's fair. You're right. I watched a documentary
Yeah,
about this or whatever.
I watched too much Animal Planet as a child.
Yeah.
I got a 9, including that one.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Yes, a 9. I can't do math. I was like, wait, 6?
Yeah. So
what?
You start to spray it in its direction, and it makes a sound like yip, 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 and scurries off into the woods. And then you look over, you maybe head over to where it was looking and pawing. It's a pristine magazine on the ground. A 1977 issue of Popular Mechanics opened up to a photo spread of windmills.
What?
Yeah, right? That's what you're like. What? What is this?
I'm looking through the rest of this magazine
It's
because it
just-
might have pawed through like some of the pages.
It's just more and more pictures of windmills from various eras, like the 1500s, recently, one that was just built, even though this is a 1977 issue magazine. This is something
One that was just built.
your dad might be pretty interested in. This magazine.
Cool. I'm gonna
You just
pop that
pocket
into a
it.
bag.
And the complication. Let me get back to the complication. I'm not really sure of that yet. But that is actually
I am gonna give it to my dad.
that's a mountain clue, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I think the complication is that you look up, like from where you're standing at the start of the trail, you see an opening, like clearing area, and you were very sure that this was not here when you headed over to look at the magazine. You know, while you were looking at it at the ground. There's a red brick staircase. It looks like it came from your childhood front porch. And it's just like sitting here out in the forest.
Zelda.
Take the condition, the stairs.
I think Zelda kind of like okay, question. Full disclosure, I've been writing this mystery for my group. I kind of have an idea of what of the stairs. Would it be okay that if Zelda has like a rough idea of that? If not, I will just be baffled.
She's been around. She's been around a while.
Yeah, like these stairs have been appearing, you know, various places in White Mountain Forest the last couple years. They're like random stairs of all sizes and types, and it looks like they were cut and pasted in the forest from someone else. You have probably asked David about these stairs before, and he just says like, everyone knows about them, but just stay away from them and leave it out of the report. Basically, that's all he told you. But yeah, you are aware of them.
Yeah, I think he kind of walks in and just like, oh yeah, those Moira. Sorry. You might not want to get too close to them.
Hold on. I am just gonna like imagine that like he has a little pocket and this is where his phone is. He just kind of.
I think I kind of put like a hand, just like kind of like push the phone back down and just like.
I think I just like do like the turn it off, but like covertly switch it to photo mode and take a photo.
Yeah, you can add that to your, what do you call it, hidden agenda thing if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the magazine definitely, at least.
Yeah.
As you guys
You were
are,
speedrun that hidden agenda. Sorry, go on.
as you guys are staring at these weird stairs from out of nowhere, a second set of stairs, somewhere deeper in the woods, you know, along Barnet Trail, we hear the sounds of footsteps, clank, 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 descending down them. And this is a rusted iron spiral staircase. It looks like it was once painted black a long time ago. It spirals up about 20 feet up into the trees above. What do we see as Jackie is descending down towards them? Like, this is how you have entered into the world from the Forest of Verdigris.
Yeah. There was what was the last location? There's the was I in the Tomb of Mirrors where I got through the yeah. Yeah, I think I've got my. I found myself some nice steel-toed boots. I think last time I was in there, and see if I have the right, and then the like the chainsaw chain on a basically like wrapped around a stick for a kind of like a defensive thing, and just kind of like cautiously holding onto the railing, working my way down, and like using the spiral to sort of like see, like check out the entire area as I'm going down until I put my foot gently on the ground again.
I think you emerge out at Bennett's Ridge Trail. So you don't know this, but you're actually not too far away from the other first responders, maybe like a mile or two north. It's a bare earthen trail that has a few footbridges over swampy areas and gravel in areas that have eroded. The forest is pretty thick, but every once in a while it opens up to reveal the Bear Spring Brook or the distant Pine Mountain to the north. You don't see any hikers that are on the trail currently, but despite not being used, the trail seems well used. So let's paint the scene. Like, what do we find that suggests that it's a pretty active trail?
I mean, some litter, Cliff Bar wrappers or whatnot.
I think it looks like well worn. There's like a bunch of like footprints have kind of like overlapped to the point that it's just kind of like created like small little divots of like, you see where there are like preferred little walkabouts within the trail.
Mm-hmm.
John,
You're
if
muted.
you're talking, you're muted.
There's a lot of like broken tree branches and brush that's been disturbed by people.
I'm just gonna like because okay, I live near a metro park that requires dogs to be on leashes at all times. People don't follow that rule. And I think there is a dog that is off leash, but it's like a schnauzer, and it like walks up to you and like circles you and just like barking and like pawing at you, and then like sniffs you again, and then like starts growling a little bit and barking even louder.
Yeah, I think you know that the dog probably belongs to someone nearby. And there are definitely telltale signs that someone is slightly off the trail, probably from the litter and dog poop and stuff that you described. But there's also some discarded... It's really weird. Like, well, it's not weird to you, probably. It would be weird to most people. At the bottom of the staircase, there is just like a pile of clothes and shoes that are sorted into clumps in a small glade in the forest. There's like easily 40 or 50 pairs of shoes piled up. No evidence of someone dumping them. They just seem like they were placed here, just like the stairs. Yeah. So, what do you... The dog collar reads Dr. Peabody. Yeah. Yeah. So you have some privacy for now, but it seems like there could be people around soon.
Yeah. I'm going to look through the shoes and see if any fit.
Sure. Go ahead and make a reason roll.
Yeah. Reason is 0.
A 4.
A 4. Wait up.
So what happens is that you kind of hear a gunshot off the side of the trail, and then you look over and there is a guy in like camo. He's obviously looks like he's had more than a few, right? He's stumbling around a little bit and cursing. And he is, he's like in his late 30s. He's got a Vietnam era boonie hat. He's got a belt around him, and from your experience, Jackie, of having been a park ranger in the past, it just screams out to you like illegal poacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, there's this bird up in the trees that he's kind of like shooting at. It seems like some kind of like a large raven that's just kind of hovering around the branches and stuff, and it has something in its thick beak that's flying around with. And he's like, "Just stay still, you damn bastard!" And he's like taking pot shots at it. How do you know that this raven serves the others? Like it's one of their watchers, and that if he shot it, they would punish him severely. And also, like, what small item from his childhood is it carrying to mock him?
It's got a little army soldier, a little green green army guy in his beak there.
Yeah.
I think you can tell it's from them because as it moves around, like it sits on a branch, and then kind of like you hear the flapping sound, and then you see two of them sitting, and then the first one, like you look at the other one, the first one's gone. So like it's not exactly teleporting, but it's just like it feels like it's moving without changing place. Yeah.
So the good moral thing to do here would be to try to warn him, right? But the second that you entered into this real world, your head starts to feel foggy again, right? It's hard to form words, you know. It's hard to do anything. So like, what do you do?
I'd like to try and get. I would like to try to get like up behind him so I can grab him without getting shot, I think.
All right, cool. Let's call it a. Man, I almost want to say it's a dangerous move because there's a gun involved.
I believe it is. Yeah, sounds right.
What are you worried about happening?
I'm worried about him thinking that I'm not a person and taking a shot without even thinking about it, or thinking about it and taking it anyway.
Yeah, so I think that's how it's worse that there is a gun. Yeah. Okay. There is. Do you have the condition? I forget. Still
disoriented and incoherent.
Disoriented. I think that adds disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. This is probably gonna be vitality, I'm guessing.
That seems fair. Yeah, if you're going up to grab him.
Yeah. So.
Do you have any items that might help, or?
Ooh, to help me sneak around. I wonder if the wooden mask helps me out, because that's from the others, I think.
Might creep him out. Might scare off the bird because it knows, like, oh, there's another here or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see.
Yeah, let me slip that mask out and then sneak over.
Oh no! So I'm gonna describe what happens, and then you can tell me if you put on a crown. But yeah, like you try to you put this mask on. We described it has kind of like the antlers and stuff like the others, and you're making your way, creeping up to him slower and slower, and you're right about to jump on him, and your foot lands on a leaf that seems to be like made out of metal. And it just like crunches underneath your foot, and kind of has like a tink from your combat boots, your steel-toed boots. And yeah, he turns around spooked. That we just hear the sound of the gunshot, and you collapse as your gut is just bleeding out. Would you like to mark a crown instead of getting gunshot?
I would. I don't do vulnerable scenes, right? So is the shadow grow deep appropriate?
Let me look. Shadows grow deep.
My thought might be different for the vanished.
Yeah, let me check. Hereafter, in the out of the woods phase, you have to describe a scene of the others searching for you. Yeah, it is different.
Great. I love that. Yeah, I'll take that then. Shadow Cure Deep.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right, we'll come back to that. So I'll tell you the complication is you do end up. Why is it not letting me change that? Oh, whoops. I'll change it on the break.
Yep.
Yeah, so he starts to turn when he hears the leaf, aims the gun, but you maybe grab his wrist and it goes off and the bird flies off. So the complication is you're kind of locked in, this struggle with him, and the other first responders, as you've been, talking about where Paul might have gone, you hear a gunshot. You actually hear several gunshots further up the trail.
I think as we're kind of grappling a little bit, like leaning into him, he's like, "Hold still, you bastard."
Yeah. But you have that wooden mask on, so he's just like, ah! Why don't we take a 5-minute break, and then you guys can think about what you want to do about that. But yeah, you've heard these shots in the woods. All right, so we'll be right back.
That's it.
I'm gonna get more water
No problem.
Ow, you're ready. Hi, I'm back.
No, you're good. Okay.
Ow.
Oh, I hope your knee's okay.
No, that's not it. It's I have in-ear headphones because over-ear are sensory hell. But these are also a little bit of sensory hell if I wear them for too long.
Yeah.
So I gotta take them out every once in a while just to like let my ears not die.
Yeah, I get you. Take care of yourself. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, gonna get out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, everyone can take a couple more minutes.
But yeah, having fun, having a good time.
Mark, I realized I might have made a little error here because you can only be revealed to the other first responders after there's 3 clues.
Yeah.
So either they stumble upon a scene that's very confusing to them and then you just appear after that, or you do have a move to just reveal a clue. Yeah, so
I think that's what I'll look at.
we'll handle that when it comes up, I guess.
Yeah.
Also note that there was a mounting clue discovered by Zelda, so you're temporarily at +2 composure as well. So that's good.
Wait, I got one. I got the magazine.
Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah.
from Sebastian, sorry.
Mm-hmm. I thought there was another mountain clue. Jesus, I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I am too, I'm right there with you. So we'll wait for Zelda.
Mhm.
Can't believe we're this far in the game and I only told one person I'm with the forestry service.
Well, to be fair, you've only talked with one person so far, so
That's fair.
So,
yeah.
Next person that has the ability to understand human language is being told.
unless it's me, and then you just hate me.
I'll think of a different reason why I need to bring it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Hating you just means more of a reason.
Does Sebastian count as a person? No, just kidding. No, we love him.
Like
It's fine.
Richard would say, they're a person, maybe not like but that's all Richard would say because his parents told him, "Not if you didn't have anything nice to say, don't say anything." But they're definitely a person.
They are breathing, and I don't like that.
Okay, let's.
Wait, does Sebastian does Sebastian subscribe to his stream?
I think Sebastian subscribes to the stream under a different name.
Ah, that's funny.
And, like, plays it in the background when he's, like, doing dishes or some shit.
Yeah, so I guess while we're waiting for Corbett, in the meantime, yeah, Richard and Sebastian, you hear these gunshots, so do you run back together and talk about what happened, or, do you plan to run over there?
Run back there, even though I think I would be running towards whoever I knew had a gun.
Mhm.
Like, would Doris or someone else have a gun?
I don't know, actually. Like, she's a campground manager. Zelda definitely has a gun. Yeah, she has
Yeah.
a service revolver.
Alright, so I'd be running wherever I thought Zelda was
So
at.
those-
Yeah, Zelda and Sebastian, you saw them heading off towards the Tacoma.
So I'm running there.
Okay. It's not far, it's in the same parking lot, so.
It doesn't matter, I'm still running.
And Doris is probably on the phone, you know. She's in her late 40s with glasses and short hair. She's got a khaki National Forest employee uniform with a dark green baseball cap, so she's probably dressed very similar to Richard. And she's just like frantically calling, like, we have a situation here, shots fired, and National Forestry Service personnel are on site, and also another civilian for some reason.
A volunteer here.
You hear that? There's shot fired. There's someone shooting a gun. Did you hear that? As I run.
Sorry about
Yeah.
You should do something.
But yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get the gun. I'm going to go
I
get
think-
that guy.
Oh my god. I think, is it possible that when Sebastian went to, like, with the other Zelda, when Zelda basically could go off on her own to follow? Like, instead of looking up with others, like, tell Sebastian just, like, I'm going to check it out, tell the others, stay away. And then I think she's gonna go investigate.
You are literally the fastest one, so if you want to try to book it there before them, you absolutely could. I think that would involve a risky roll just so you don't, get injured or something along the way.
Yeah.
But if you want to make a vitality roll and just charge forward.
I would love
These
to make
two
a
not
vitality
true.
roll. 2d6 plus 3. I think what I'm afraid of would probably just be, like, maybe I take, like, kind of rough tumble or I don't get there in time. Maybe it's a tumble.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm too afraid of, like, breaking something, but maybe, like, this will be problematic later type thing. That's an 8. I'll take it.
Okay.
Mm.
So, describe what happened, what it looks like as you just like charge through the underbush or up the trail, and making this. You'd probably do like an 8-minute mile or something, ridiculous. Maybe sub 8 minutes actually, knowing Zelda.
Yeah. I think it's just like, I think Sebastian probably sees her dart into the forest, maybe like some faint rustling, but I think she pretty quickly just disappears as she makes a run towards there. I think on the screen, I think she's just like, I think she's fast. I think she generally knows what's good. I think you see her kind of like pretty naturally weaving through the roots and the branches to get to where these gunshots are.
Okay. So you burst out of the underbrush to up where we saw the audience saw Jackie, and I think you're gonna take the condition confused because what you see is hard to describe, right? The first thing is very simple to describe. You see Zeke Howard, the drunken idiot poacher, who you have probably arrested like several dozen times for illegal night poaching, open containers, stuff like that. But he seems to be like struggling in midair with this indistinct shape that all you can make out is like this wooden mask with antlers, just kind of like floating in the air. And yeah, you kind of blink for a little bit, and it's hard to. It's like your vision's all hazy, and your head hurts. It's probably the Axe body spray, that your allergies are acting up. Out of character until there's a third clue. Jackie can't reveal herself to you guys, so that's kind of why I'm doing that.
I think I'd like to use my move to ask the keeper to reveal a clue that is somehow related to the current rescues phenomenon. And
Yay!
I was about to use my own.
Okay.
I can.
You certainly both can. Yeah, so in the pile of the boots that I talked about, the clothing and boots that were just discarded there, One boot in particular, a single well-worn hiking boot, stands out. Probably because it has the same logo as the influencer that, was in Paul's Tacoma truck. And as you kind of focus on that symbol, Zelda, the other figure starts to kind of like come into view, right? And it's as Jackie has been described in other scenes and stuff, and they seem to be in some kind of struggle. Zach has a hunting rifle that he's aiming up in the air, and Jackie seems to be, it's hard to tell, it seems like she's trying to keep him from hurting himself, that he could shoot her at any second. Like, what do you do?
And you saw me last time on the trail, right?
Yes, actually, very briefly.
Yeah.
But you also, I think, Zelda, you've been doing this for you've been doing this for a while, so you know stories about this mountain woman who just like randomly has appeared in the White Mountain Forest and stuff too. So
Yeah. I think I see this head kind of clears a bit as I see the shape of Jackie, who I know has helped, and I'm wondering, like, what are the stories of the mountain woman? Like, has she been kind of helpful?
you tell
Or
me,
like troublesome?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, primarily like really weird and creepy, but always helpful in some way.
So I think she kind of sees as he struggles. I think what I'm gonna try to do is I think the main thing is do interfere. Just kind of like, I see he's waving a gun. I know Jackie has helped. I think I'm gonna try to like de-escalate the situation, get the gun away, potentially give Jackie a time to disappear. As I do want to talk to her, but I think removing the gun is the best idea.
okay.
Remove gun.
You do have the authority to make arrests.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
You are the
do
only
you,
person.
do you yell at him? Do you just run up and just like rip the gun from him? Like, what does this look like?
I think she yells something about like hey, National Forest officer, put the gun down. And I'm trying to, I think, like, get them separated.
Okay, so it's going to be a dangerous move with presence
God.
then. I do
no.
think either probably confused is affecting you here too. But if you mark off your authority to make arrests, then that'll just be a flat roll.
I'll do that. Let me know if there's any background noise. My apologies.
No, you're good.
Alright. 2d6 plus...
Oh, wait, what are you worried
One.
about happening
Oh.
if you fall short?
He's not gonna listen.
Are you good to...
Should I roll?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, this is a risky move then?
I think it's just risky. If you were running up to grab the gun from him, it would be dangerous, but if you're just shouting, it's risky.
Okay, I'll do that. I will take that! 7!
Thank God.
Complication. He hears your voice, and he's like, "Oh shit, Zelda, I'm not going back to jail!" And he, like, throws the gun...
Motion!
He throws the gun to the side and just, like, books it into the woods. He's like, "Come on, Dr. Peabody!" And it chases after him.
Oh my god.
So he's just gonna take off. If you wanted to interview him, you're gonna have to mark a crown to like tackle him or something. Otherwise, he just vanishes.
I'll chase
Probably
him down
forever.
later. Oh, listen. Wait, not my problem right now. Perhaps it'll be perhaps my problem, but
You're like that
Can I
dumbass, you know?
Not my circus, not my clowns.
Right.
listen. I've told him to go in the woods somewhere. We have another currently missing person. Sorry,
Yeah.
second allergies.
So I think you just have a moment staring at this woman wearing the wooden mask, and she's staring back at you. Do you guys want to have some kind of interaction before the others show up? Mark, do you just want to
Please.
use your move to run away? Because you can do that.
I think I'd lower the mask and kind of like make eye contact and see what they do.
Zelda, how do you respond to that?
Sorry. I think she kind of gives you a once over and just like, you were there a few weeks ago with the missing boy.
Mm-hmm.
What's your name?
I think it's a real struggle. Yeah, like my face is screwed up, kind of like a toddler trying to draw, like
It's like,
yeah. And I think you can like just hear like Jack, Jack, Jack. I think what you get is Jack. I think.
Well, thank you. I'm Zelda. I kind of hold out a hand to like potentially shake.
I maybe like draw back at that a little bit. Like, what do you want?
Oh, I think she kind of like retracts her hand, just like, sorry. You're familiar with the strangeness that happens here?
Mm-hmm. What's happening out here?
We have there's a missing camper. Haven't heard from them for a few days, and so we're checking. Admittedly, there are stairs, which tend to be problematic on some other incidents I've been on.
Don't use the stairs.
Sounds like a plan.
I want to cut back to the others just for a moment before they
Yeah.
emerge in the clearing too, because I think any scene with Richard and Sebastian is potentially funny. The two of you are probably trying to hustle your way after Zelda, but she's just so fast, right? Even Richard, who is in really good shape, is taking some time. You have to dodge some, like dog poop along the way. There's also several large piles of disassembled pine cones that chipmunks and squirrels have left. It's not really dangerous. It's just kind of irritating. Doris probably should have done a better job of clearing the trail, but there's been a lot going on. What do we see as the two of you are running up towards the clearing?
So, fun fact about squirrels. I'm like dodging the pine cones, and like the other pine cones, and like I'll like point it out like towards like the side, of like the path. It's like a little out of the way, but like not where anybody's gonna really notice. It's like sometimes they form them into circles. They like essentially as food storage if there's like not a lot of predators in the area. So if you look over there, you're gonna see a circle, and I'm just walking. You're muted.
I actually have to slow down so that I could stare at Sebastian and
I'm
like
walking.
say, "Oh," then I just like wave, like, "Yeah, squirrels, interesting, running, running."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
go on.
also the squirrels here get quite violent on the occasion. I don't know why. I don't bother them. Sometimes just look at you that they want to murder you. Some of them look like they have human eyes, and I don't know why.
I'm just running, so I can't hear any of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not. Also, in a general sense, I try not to make eye contact with squirrels. That's like, it makes me uncomfortable. So I never thought about why. So human eyes probably would explain that, but
Yeah.
by and large, I avoid looking at them. But I think the things I don't think I see. I don't think we see a whole lot more of anything other than like more food that was than wrappers and packaging.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like it's real bad because this guy.
Mhm.
He's doing stuff illegal, but he's just like everything about. It's like we don't want him in the woods, but he probably has other stuff that's this
The other thing you
like
notice,
potato chip bags and other things too.
yeah, Richard, as you're looking at all this disapprovingly, like you notice that it's really weird. Like there should be more undergrowth along this trail, right? But there's just like a very thick layer of green moss. So in your mind, maybe you're just thinking like someone should be doing a much better job maintaining this trail, right? Yeah. Do you try to stop and look at any of the objects to see if like maybe Paul left something, or you're just like, no, we just have to get to the clearing as fast as possible?
I think when I see all of this moss, I would like to use my move this one time at the academy.
Okay.
And it's like you recently trained. Your recent training is still fresh on your mind, and sometimes the instructors would include weird things in their lecture to keep the students' attention. Once per threat rescue, if you describe a strange story you heard at your at the Conservative Law Academy from an instructor, you may work it into a clue. The clue can't answer the question on its own.
All right, so let's hear the story, then the clue, and then you guys burst into the clearing.
Oh, so when this instructor one day was telling the story about how, if you like when you're walking on a trail, if you ever find yourself like the light just seems to shine just a little bit differently, and the trees around you just suddenly seem a little bit bigger, and you find yourself walking down a path of moss. Sometimes that means you're no longer in the White Mountains anymore. You're someplace else in between. It's some weird space, and you start to see things that don't like weird stuff that you can't explain. Best thing you can do is turn around and go back the other way, as Richard continues for. And he's just like, oh man, that's a good thing that instructor just says random stuff like this all the time. And so I completely disregard it.
As soon as I pass you, I'm like, oh, but my squirrels are too weird.
So
are you Jason? Because you've been walking and I've been running, and you just caught up with me.
So what's the clue that you get from this that relates to Paul Foster?
Oh man, so I think the clue that relates to here is that wherever is happened here, he's probably lost because of he walked on this path of moss, like, and probably got lost somewhere else. Probably not here where he should have been. He probably ended up somewhere else in the trail.
So wound up somewhere else on the trail. Yeah, so, the two of you are having this discussion about squirrels and moss, and then you finally arrive to this area with the 20-foot spiral staircase, all of the discarded clothing, and then Zelda and this mountain woman just kind of staring at each other. So now everyone's all together.
And then I think I'm just like absentmindedly, like as I like come on the seat, I'm just like kind of like, okay, but look, the one squirrel, I swear to God, had a human face. Oh, hi.
Don't think it had a human face, but I didn't look at it. I'll take your word for it.
Did it speak? Don't listen.
Did not stick around long enough to find out.
Good.
Miss Summers? We saw you before. You're the person from I can't. That we saw you like a couple of weeks back.
With the kid.
Weeks?
Yeah, that's like a 60s or 70s uniform you're wearing, right?
Yesterday.
Mm,
No.
mm-mm.
Yeah, it definitely
Do you
feels
know what
like
year it
no
is?
more than 48 hours to Jackie for sure.
Do you know what year it is? It's like, what year is it? Is it like modern day? Or like somewhere within the 2010s?
Yeah, 20XX or something like that.
It's like 2019. What the fuck is going on?
I think Jackie just starts laughing. He's like, that's fucking ridiculous. Spaceman, oh yeah.
Are you the mountain lady? I've heard instructors talk about you're like the mountain lady that people see all the time.
No, not always. Sometimes.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
but
heard a lot of stories about some strange lady that just shows up out of nowhere. This is like the second time, and you're also strange, which leads me to believe that you are the strange mountain lady.
What
I
are
bring
you
up
wearing?
some-
What do you dress like?
Oh, I mean, I'm dressed like someone who works a professional for the U.S. Forestry Service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're wearing a modern uniform, a baseball cap, and the Gore-Tex jacket.
Yeah,
Or the
hold
strange
on.
one.
I think in the distance, I do want to activate my move to get a clue, but I think Zelda's kind of crouched down, checking out like some stuff. I think just like kind of the background is just like a bit of like a sort of laughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I think this guy's just going to like bring up like a photo, and just go like, hold on, I gotta open my photos just for the bit. I think he just brings out his like cell phone and like you've never fucking seen before, and he goes like, "Is this you?"
Oh, but that's the Slim Jim guy, or the beef jerky guy. That's different.
I haven't heard anything good
Why
after
is he
beef.
wearing a wooden mask?
From others.
Others?
Sebastian,
Sorry, I
while-
was laughing so hard.
Look, see if the bird is still there.
you see some fluttering in the tree canopy, but it's hard to tell if it's the bird or just normal birds.
Hmm.
They're watching.
Zelda, did you want a normal clue or do you want a mountain clue?
I think I do want a normal clue. My idea was, the thing that the crow dropped, like the little like what's your boy? Sorry, like sorry, I just like I think it's just maybe I guess what's odd about it is the fact of like it looks like I think when she like flips over and sees like the date of like it was like manufactured years ago, but despite the fact it's been like decades ago, it's like completely pristine and like barely used.
Okay, so maybe
think
the
you tried
army man belonged to Paul then. Manufactured decades ago. Pristine. Fairly used. Belonged to Paul, question mark.
So these observers, are they connected to what's odd about this about White Mountain?
Don't think about it. You don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want it.
I don't look at it, but I point to it. It's like, don't think about that either, and I point at the stairs.
Yeah,
Right?
so Sebastian, as you point over, you see that there's something at the top of the stairs. like it's like some kind of small object that if you
What's up there, by the way?
Do I see the object up there?
yeah, you probably do, sure.
I'm gonna like dash over there and kind of like on all fours, kind of like clamber up the stairs and see if I can grab it.
It's a severed
Don't
hand.
follow.
It's a severed hand that someone has just put at the top of the stairs.
Is it like cleanly severed or torn off or?
Queenly severed, like it had just dropped, you know, like a queen cut, basically.
Yep.
Oh, the door closed. That's not good.
Yeah. Hold up the hand, wave it, throw it down.
Yeah, I think
No,
Zodiac
come up.
I
This happens.
Okay.
This
that
looks like a
explains-
man's hand.
That
No,
explains the
it looks
other
like a
leg I
woman's
found.
hand. So it's not Paul's hand for sure. It looks like a woman's hand.
Not my hands.
Oh, good.
Right. Well, if these are around, we should keep looking for our missing father. There's an area that's good for camping. Water that's above the floodplains. I think that might be a place where he would have set up the shop.
Okay. And what happens if we, find half his torso at the foot of a staircase?
I think we
take it.
will have to find enough pieces to bring him back.
Okay.
To his family, not to life.
Yeah.
What? Why would it? What? How
There-
Richard
Anyway,
just been
we
down.
have
I'm like,
corpses
wait, what?
and people.
Yeah. But yeah, it is getting kind of later in the day. You know, there's some clouds passing overhead over the tree cover, and it does look like it's slightly past 1 p.m. or so, maybe even closer to 2. So yeah, you guys got to get a move on.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I think
Hey,
Zelda's. Oh, go on, sorry.
I was going to ask Richard, hey, what did those folks tell you back at the base camp?
Oh, they told me that he heard a screaming and he thought it was a bobcat, but it might have been a human. It might have been like a human scream.
Yes,
coming
might
from
also have been
the trail.
Might also been a mountain lion. Let's keep our eyes peeled.
Yeah, I said.
He also said
okay.
it was in the direction of Peabody River, which would be off the trail to the east. So that might kind of jibe with what Zelda was saying to you.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I just like mumble to Jack. I mentioned the bobcat. I said bobcat first. I don't understand. I said bobcat, but it might have been. Okay.
So are you guys going off road, or you could follow Bear Spring Brook towards the river? If you wanted to not get lost, or you could just go off road into the woods and hopefully stumble upon the campsite that way. What do you do?
I'll go off road and I'll try to follow the smell of sandalwood body spray.
I think I might
You
go
smell
up
like
and-
sandalwood bodies. Miss Summers.
The car reeked of it. I'm taking a good shower. I hate this. I'm gonna go. I think I'll river to. Jack, you wanna? Was one of us?
Say that again.
Jack, do you want to come with us?
Go. I'll meet you there. And I will not move from the stairs.
Yeah, you can basically just show up
taking
wherever.
the stairs. That's really weird. That's why she's weird. Mountain lady.
You're weird.
You're using stairs to beat us there. Stairs go. Oh man, just stay.
I think.
What color is Jackie's hair, by the way? I'm gonna do something real quick.
I think it's like a dirty brown.
Okay, cool.
Brown,
1 minute.
Wild hair.
1
is the
minute.
look.
Do you still
Okay.
have a good masculine?
No, I'm holding it. I took it down when I talked to Zelda.
Yeah. I think Zodakai turns to Richard. Just admittedly, things tend to be quite odd here, and that's just. Sometimes there are maybe like limbs like that, and sometimes there's like. Sometimes they move by themselves.
Right.
Things happen here.
I hear you. Yeah. And I'm like lining up Jackie. Like, oh, the instructors are never going to believe this.
Sorry, did I know cat?
Oh my god, I just got so lightheaded from laughing, Jesus fucking
I'm
Christ.
dead. You guys killed me. The game is over.
Does that mean we've won?
Yes, you win again. Okay.
Okay.
So Richard, are you going with Zelda? Or the other thing that you could do is there's like a closed logging road that you guys passed on the way towards this clearing. It also kind of heads north towards Pine Mountain. So they're heading east. So it would be in a different direction, actually. Or you can go with Zelda along the brook, or I know you don't want to go with Sebastian, but you could technically go off trail with them.
Oh, I was going to go with Zelda unless Zelda sent me in another direction. Oh, you couldn't understand me because I was just going like, because I wasn't listening to anything you were saying while I was trying to take a picture of Jackie over my shoulder.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's probably do that scene first. Like we see Zelda and Richard go off along the brook. And this small stream flows into the Peabody River a couple miles away down in the valley. So you guys hear the sound of the river rushing, as you get closer to it, it gets louder and louder. It's small but a fast-moving stream, but it can be easily crossed by stepping on the large, smooth rocks exposed by erosion. So we see you guys carefully making your way along these rocks and stuff. Let's paint the scene. Typically, mountain streams make bubbling and gurgling sounds as they find their path down the hillsides. What strange sounds do you hear along this stream that are not like that?
It sounds like someone whispering. Can't really make it out.
I think when the sort of pass by sound, that sounds like almost like scratching against.
There's a lot of bird calls, probably specifically the corvid type of sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're not really seeing all of those
The different corvid.
birds. Yeah, yes, corvid, specifically corvid. It's corvid sounds. We're in a tree making the bird sound. There's a person up in the tree making bird sounds. Yes. No. Yes.
So the two of you actually maybe are a little surprised because you end up stumbling on some people you know very well. Somewhere camped along the side of the stream are Larry Shaw and Charlotte Means. There are also two members of the National Forest Service. Larry is a 30-year-old man, and he's in his mid-30s, and he's very thin. He's real thin. And Charlotte is short and in her 40s. And they're both wearing civilian hiking clothes, but blaze orange Forest Service vests because obviously you don't want to get lost in the woods, right? And they have a few packs and a lot of rolls of bright yellow flagging tape they're using to identify. They're looking at trees with beetle borers, and they're just kind of checking them out. And Larry kind of looks over and he's like, "Oh, hey, Zelda and
Hey!
Richard, how are you guys doing? Beautiful day, huh?"
Yeah. It's been a strange one. We've been looking for someone who might have gotten themselves lost out here.
Oh,
Sure.
I should also let you guys know. Remember Pete? Poacher, general, problem causer. God, I meant to pursue him, but he he's really right, shots for him, and she kind of lifts up I think the gun just kind of slung over her shoulder, just like,
Yeah.
I'll make a report, but just be careful.
Yeah, Charlotte kind of frowns. It's like, that dumbass. Do you remember when we had to track him, up the side of the mountain because he got stuck in that mudslide and
God.
got mud all over my boots? We haven't.
And he's like,
Oh, go ahead.
and he was like yelling, just like, "Oh, you can't take me back to jail." Just like, go get a hobby then. That's not
Yeah.
illegal.
Right? You know what? This beautiful scenery, he could be doing anything. Unfortunately, we haven't seen anybody pass this way, but need us to call anything in with the radio? We got a boosted signal.
Could you actually call this in? If you could call this in, just say there's gunshots repeat. He's in the forest somewhere. Someone might have to look for him. As soon as we have to be a different group, we're already on a job.
Yeah, and Larry gives you like a faux salute. He's like, "You got it. We'll do
Thank
that,
you.
Sarge." But meantime, where are you guys headed off towards the? You're headed off towards the river. You said there was a missing person.
Yeah, Paul Foster, been partly a wellness check, but it's been, gotta make sure. Could be just, he got a bit caught up, hasn't come home. Could be he broke his leg and he's stuck here somewhere. Thinking he's somewhere up the river. There's a good little ridge for campaign away from floodwaters. Seems smart enough that he knows not to be too close by to the river, but so we're trying to find it.
Okay.
Here's a picture. Here's a picture of him.
All right, let me radio in real quick and see if anyone saw anything. So one of you can make an information move, probably with presence, and we'll see if anything comes over the radio.
What's your presence, by the way?
It is 0.
My presence is 1. I'll make the roll. 2d6. That's a 5.
5.
I was like, I've been playing too much math. I was like, oh, wonderful XP. No.
Did you add your 1 to it? Oh wait, no, it's still a 6.
Yeah. I did forget to do it, but it's not enough.
So Larry bends down and he's like, "Yeah, so see that there's a boosted signal, like I said. So this will be really easy." And he clicks it on, and it's like right in your ears. Like all of you hear this throughout the entire stream over everything. And Zelda, you're already feeling out of sorts. Go ahead and take another condition, like feedback.
Can I take overstimulated?
Overstimulated, sure. So yeah, they're like covering their ears, like, "Oh God, what? Maybe it's reacting to something. I don't know." Why are you not bothered by this, Richard?
I mean, honestly, I'm used to this sort of technology not working out here like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and plus, it's like I've had this problem multiple times with.
You know what it is?
Supervisor.
Yeah. You know what it is? Like the radio is from the Wilderness Foundation Association. And David was like, "Yeah, we're going to give you all guys all these boosted radios, and they're going to work great." And it's corporate government synergy and all of that stuff. And of course, it's not working immediately.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to spend any amount of time on the internet looking at reviews for it, it's just like this is just another case of the lowest bidder. I mean, it's clearly it's 2 stars on Amazon.
Yeah. So,
and most of the reviews don't even consider it as like a viable option.
yeah. I think one of the reviews is from Sebastian under a fake name or something. Yeah.
Speaking of,
So yeah.
Well, I want to cut over to Sebastian, but first, Zelda, do you want to mark a crown to get a clue, or are you okay with that result?
I'm okay with this result. I'll take it.
Okay. So yeah, in the meantime, Sebastian, you're making your way off road into the the canopy and stuff, and surprisingly, even though nobody expected it, Unless, is there something you wanted to do particularly first, or you're just headed off smelling for the sandalwood?
I'm smelling for the sandalwood, but I'm also like basically like setting my drone up and like kind of just eat into the air.
So in
like-
that case, is there some move that goes along with that, or?
That's just my cool shit, my state of the art shit.
If you're using your advanced drone, then you actually get 2 relevant clues, right?
Yes.
Okay, what does your drone look
Yeah.
like?
It's smaller, it's more agile, it's able to like it imagine like essentially like imagine like the size of like an African pygmy hawk to a peregrine falcon, about that size, and it's just like it doesn't look like a drone very much. It looks more like something out of like a fucking video game.
Yeah, so you're getting like telemetry readings back from it on your phone, and the drone is like hovering over the trees and stuff, and it stops in a single area because it gives you like a heat signature, and it's just from like a smoldering cigarette butt, but the drone is like that advanced and precise that it still will pick it up from that area, so you're headed in the right direction. And you walk confidently through the woods, like, I don't need this ranger training. I have technology, right?
Oh no, I'm keeping quiet. I'm making sure that nothing hears me.
Yeah. So probably because of the negative experience you've had with the woods devils and stuff recently, that makes sense. So you actually end up walking straight into Paul Foster's campsite, right? It's a fairly new green and gray tent is nestled between just these two huge trees, right? So if you didn't know where to look for it, you could be stumbling around for hours and not find it. He has like a stone ring with a small campfire that looks like it was put out by water within maybe like the last day or so. And all of his packs are suspended from a rope to keep animals from his food. Let's paint the scene. What items do you find in the camp that suggest Paul planned on being right back? Other than the cigarette that we just mentioned.
I think that there are like... Oh man. I think that there is like... very obviously clothes on a line, and like half of them are like washed. Or like at least somewhat cleaned. That or there's never do this. There are the remains of like ashes of a fire and like a little bit of embers that are still warm. Take your pick. I don't care which one.
Anyone else want to add any details or?
Oh yeah, I think there's probably. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on. It's all good.
Oh, I was gonna say there's probably like some like fish that's being like cooked. That's kind of at this point looks like it's burnt a little bit because it hadn't been taken out.
I think he brought a Kindle with him, and it's left open like on a stump or something, like a Mark Manson book or some like brosphere garbage.
This guy.
Look at that.
I think to kind of like add to that, I think there's like a pair of headphones that's kind of been like left on the rock, like close to the Kindle.
It's an audiobook of that fucking bullshit.
You find one thing that is very concerning amidst all of that. In addition to all the other stuff that you mentioned, there is near the Kindle a discarded empty bottle of blood pressure medication. So if Paul is still out here, he's probably going to be in trouble if he's not found soon. So how do you react to all that?
Concerning.
Yep.
Very concerning. Yeah, I'm going to. If I like to believe I have like at least a phone that works better, and I can like text these two. And I also think like the drones overhead where they are, and they're just like looking at the radio, like it's fucked up, and I'm just like, empty bottle of blood pressure meds. I found his camp.
Yeah, you guys
We
aren't
gotta
too
find this
far,
guy.
so that makes sense that you'd be able to text them still. So
Also, hit the button on the back and then hit the button on the front to reset the little, like, the actual radio. Like, hit the back button once and then hit the start button twice just to fix it. You have it on detection mode, not output mode.
yeah. Does anyone respond?
I think Zoda maybe kind of shows like the. I'm assuming it's like just screaming. Oh god, I think she's like showing it to the others and just like showing them to trying to like get the radio to stop screaming because it is a bad sound and she is having a bad time. And,
I have sent it to the both of you. Like, we have a group chat that nobody likes to check.
I mean, it's like it's not that I don't like to check it.
Yeah.
I just don't like to respond, and I don't like what I end up seeing in it a lot of times. So
Like the squirrel
I don't
with people
check
eyes.
it's like.
Do you send like how to be like start your own like business tips or something like or like or like what is it like the not manifestation, isn't it manifestation?
The unhinged LinkedIn posts that are just like,
Oh no! Not inspirational posts. Links to inspirational posts.
no, the LinkedIn postings that are like unhinged.
Oh god, I hate those so much.
Yeah.
Tech bro, you're
Like,
not saying anything deep.
It's half ironic, funny shit. It's like half ironically sending them to you.
Oh my god.
I think Zoda's just trying to help Charlotte and Larry, was it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just trying to like shut the radio down, like and like have it stop. That's what she's doing rather than responding.
Little
they're-
drone.
They're just trying to frantically
Beep,
push buttons and stuff. Yeah.
Like I put
Little
myself on invisible, like I lost the signal.
Little drone like kind of comes down, and like you hear like Sebastian's voice. Hit the back button twice and hit the back button once and then the front button twice. You have it on detect mode instead of output mode.
Just walk away from the
Yeah.
I was like, y'all figure it out. I'm gonna be over here investigating.
Yeah, I was
Oh
gonna
yeah,
say
I'm at the campsite.
we're at
Cool.
7 out of 7 clues, and it's a complexity 8 mystery. So I don't know how many more you guys want to get. If you want to try at -1, if you want to try for a couple more. I also want to check in on people's energy level because I know there were some people who were kind of tired today.
I'm so tired. I nearly choked twice just by laughing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have. I want to have one final moment with Jackie then, and then we can resume next time.
yes.
man.
That's better.
Because otherwise we might get too deep into the question theorizing stuff, and I think if people are really
Yeah.
tired,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, we cut back to Jackie, and you've been kind of keeping back along these. Well, actually, would you have kept back in that clearing next to the stairs, or would you have followed them a little bit along the stream?
I wanted to make sure that they weren't going to try and go up the stairs.
Yeah,
Good
plan.
And
I was
then-
really trying to get someone to walk up the stairs, but they didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Making sure they didn't.
Yeah.
It's my job. It's my only job.
So we kind
But
of
then probably kind of like stalked behind them and try to like follow them without drawing too much attention to myself.
So if you followed along the stream, I think at one moment you actually look down and see your reflection. And it's been so long, because the water in Verdigris is just so murky and black. And normally when you're in the real world, it's super dark at night. What do you think as you see yourself for the first time in however long?
I think the first thing that strikes me is that I feel like I've been doing this forever, but I think I still look relatively young, or like my age hasn't increased as much as I feel like it should have. I think that takes me back a little bit.
As you stare in the water, the entire background behind you slowly turns a sickly light green, streaked with dark green veins. And for a moment, you think you're back in that place.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you turn around to look, and everything is completely normal. But it just feels like the cracks in reality are getting larger, and things are seeping through.
Mm.
And it just maybe drives you to continue your work to protect these people.
Yeah, better hurry up.
And I think that's a good quote to end on.
Yeah, awesome.
So we'll talk about when we want to meet next, and maybe in a little bit. But let's do a quick round of stars and wishes. What do you guys like about the session? What do you want to see for next time? So, I like this was super weird. You know, we got to have like all the stuff with the stairs very early, so that was great. I liked that we had a little action with the gun and Zeke and Jackie. And I also like that you guys got to interact with Jackie, right? That was a goal for me in the session. I was like, maybe at least one first responder and Jackie can meet up, and then we had everybody meet up together. So that's super cool. I want to see how you all work together to resolve this threat. I want to see if you intentionally try to get this douchebag dead. I don't know. I was laughing so much when people were
trying to fucking lower it.
Yeah, lower the complexity. Yeah, but I like all the things that
Can
people
we
were throwing in.
to lower the solution?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm that's what I'm looking forward to next time. So what else did people like, and what do you want to see?
Yeah, that was my star too. Like actually getting to have a not necessarily a conversation, but like to interact with folks a little bit more and kind of establish like, nope, I'm here. We're doing this out.
Oh,
I guess I can.
yeah, go on.
No, you go this time because we've done this like 3 times now. You're going first.
You're going.
Yeah. Let me see. Also, the interactions were all really fun. Like, I guess like general stuff. Jack interaction was fun. John, I love to play Richard. Just like I love the back and forth between you and Sebastian. Just like Sebastian's always just a bit of a menace, and
Yeah.
I feel like it would take a while for Zona to punch someone, but I feel like potentially I listen. We can make it happen if we truly want.
Yay!
But Alex, I really just like your like interact. It really didn't like interact. Your side characters like Charlotte and Larry were just a fun little side thing. I guess just something I appreciate like I just appreciate just like the sort of like the feeling that like I think for like Zona and Richard, for the people who've like worked here, have been working here, and just sort of that sort of like dynamic. I like how that kind of we are also kind of treated that way. I guess it makes sense. Like, there's a sense of like camaraderie,
Yeah.
and
absolutely.
I enjoy that. I think my only wish is. Unfortunately, I had like some like chaos in the background. My apologies. I might see. I don't know how much I can do about that, unfortunately. But I kind of want more weirdness. I feel like we had very mundane threats, which is like good and cool. I guess I'm just like itching for like weirdness, I suppose.
Mhm.
Not a bad. It's not a bad thing to have like more mundane threats, and I quite enjoyed it. I just like also want the horrors.
Give us a nod, dear. Give us a nod, dear. Make that fucker talk with human teeth.
There is
They can have
actually a
human
thing
hands.
like that. Yeah, we can do that in the future for sure.
Good. Delicious.
Ian, finally, John.
Yeah. So yeah, stars and wishes, stars. Yeah, like being able to interact with Sebastian and not get along at all is super awesome. It's always pleasant time. Like try to avoid someone and not really be able to avoid them. Get having the bizarre. Like I walked down some stairs and tackled some guy who's coaches, and it's just like, oh, this is the thing that's happening now. And it's right, and then having having the conversation between Jack, I guess, or Jackie jumped in, or some other conversation with Zelda was kind of it was like this is.
I really like that too when you were trying to get your name out. That was a great moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was just very awkward and very appropriate for like someone popping up out of nowhere, and so definitely enjoyed that. Yeah, and the like having out of nowhere, being able to see two of the other people at a varsity servers, and having the opportunity to take cheap digs at our supervisor, always fun. Always,
Of course.
always appreciate that. Well, thank you for rolling poorly, Corbett.
You're welcome.
So I guess my only wish is yes. I would like to see some weirdness, but I also would like to see see recurring characters come up
Yes.
that make things
Yes.
more difficult for us.
I think that'll probably help in the out of the woods scenes. Like I definitely think you'll run into more people in town and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ye-
I really want to see more of Charlotte and Larry, and I think having Pete potentially show up in Zelda's Life to cause problems, I would argue could be funny.
Make a note.
Oh man. Okay. Stars and wishes. Straight up, like for Zelda, the car and the axe body spray, fucking amazing. Fucking incredible, beautiful. I loved it. John with the moss and just the way that like our characters interact is so. We are the world's most terrible people. Richard is actually nice. He just hates Sebastian. Sebastian's just kind of a prick.
Brings out the words.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they haven't met your dad though, because then they would know like the actual worst, right? You know.
They're like, oh, this is why you're like this. Now I feel bad.
Yeah.
And then also for like Big General Star, especially for like Jackie, is just like mwah, delicious. When like we all got together and it's just like, I swear to God, the squirrel had a human face, and you were just like, did it talk? And I'm like, no, at least you didn't
Don't
go around
listen.
to find
Yeah,
it.
that was great.
Don't listen to it.
Then also, I'm so sorry to post. I'm so sorry that like you were subjected to like the image of like the Bigfoot suit, with like the
No, that
wild
was
brown hair and
hilarious.
going
Please
like.
do that more.
That was beautiful. Mhm.
What is going on? Okay.
Glorious.
I realized we didn't do XP. Is everyone okay if we do that really quickly, or?
Oh yeah.
I can do that real quick.
Okay.
Mhm.
We did not resolve a rescue. We did not have an echo in time yet. Sebastian, did you explain yet while you were volunteering?
I don't remember if I did.
Yeah. I do feel like you definitely impressed others with your wilderness skills, though. Like, even if the
You did find the camp.
sponsors, you know, the Larry and Charlotte are going to be talking about your drone and stuff for sure. So go ahead and take an XP for that one.
Yeah. Yay.
Zelda, did you share your insight about White Mountain National Forest?
I think I did was where to find the campsite.
Yep, for sure. Did you reluctantly describe something odd you've seen?
I reluctantly described the walking forest. I don't know if Richard Herd was a thing, which I think is hysterical.
Yeah, go ahead and take that. That's fine. Richard,
Yes.
did you share something that you just now realized or discovered but was pretty obvious to the other first responders?
I did. I ran up and told everyone there were shots fired as if no one could hear them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Um,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I think I may have said something about the stairs. I don't remember.
And did you remind civilians
yeah.
that you are in fact a Forest Service professional?
Yes.
Yes. I think I reminded the same person at least twice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jackie, did you remain hidden and silent while helping the first responders?
I did not.
really.
No.
And you did the opposite, yeah. Did you learn about the current happenings of the real world? You sure did. It's 2019? What? You know?
Yeah, sure. We're all on the moon now. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We actually visited the moon in the fucking sky.
Yeah. So anyone who reached full XP, you can take an advancement. You can do that now or off screen. Everybody else, good luck next time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a wonderful day, everybody.
Yeah.
You too, everybody.
I'll post the proposed dates for next time, and we'll decide on that. So.
Mhm.
All right.
Awesome.
Good fun, everyone.
Beautiful.
All right, bye.
Good night.
Bye.